Welcome to Frankly Speaking with Sendra D, where we dive deeply and help you wake up to the essence of what it means to live a real, authentic, affluent life. Beyond the balance sheets, the bank accounts, the private jets, the political offices, into the realm of inner wealth and personal power. I'm Sendra D, your companion guide on this trajectory of truthful self-mastery as we celebrate your individuality and your sovereignty. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Frankly Speaking with Sendra D. My name is Sendra Dorsey, as you know, those of you who've been following me all these few months. Well, this podcast launched in 2020. So technically it's been a few years, even though I paused for a few because I had to observe what was going on in the world, as well as observe what was going on within me. I had to evaluate if this was the path for me to follow, if this was my calling. I have many hats. I wear many hats. I am a financier, as well I am as conflict management professional. So now I'm adding the hat of podcaster. And as you know, I can now say I am an author. I did launch a little book, which is now on Amazon, which is called Sendra Inner Luxury. I've shared with you my journey and to recovery. So I am passionate about spirituality, which is why I launched the second podcast, which is the Sendra Sacred Spaces with Sendra D. And in that podcast, you'll see me featuring my collaborator, which is Simon Sinclair. He is a financier as well. So you've seen him featured on this channel, on this podcast. So, let's get into it. So we resumed podcasting in 2024. I launched in May of 2024 in honor of my 25 years in recovery. I thought this was a great place for me to relaunch as a voice in the global community. I do feel that I have tremendous experience to bring to you, not just as a financier, someone who thinks deeply because of my passion for spirituality, for the divine, for all things unknown, unseen. I have a curious mind, which is why it's interesting for people like myself who just don't regurgitate everything they hear. They think deeply, they ponder upon them, and then they share their insights. So all these many months, I've been sharing with you my insights, but I brought on my guests to share with you as well what's happening on the global stage. We're not just speaking about politics and business. I brought you guests that were well-versed in the practice of Vipassana, Ayurveda, and also we talked about mediation, problem solving, and we touched a bit on this topic of narcissism, which is a segment of personality disorders, cluster B to be more specific. We had an attorney who came and discussed how it is to mediate with narcissists who are convinced that they are the only valuable voice in the room. So these many guests, you've seen me feature many military. So we had Commander Darlene Green, who is a phenomenal leader. She spoke about emotional intelligence. She also spoke most recently about the value of natural therapies, and you can go back to that podcast. And so we also brought in Jason Pike, who is a lieutenant colonel, who spoke about his experience in the military. And he also spoke about, most recently in January, I published an episode where he discussed his perspective on what occurred on January 1st. Well, I have to disclose to you, I am fasting for Lent. So what you're probably saying, well, I should give them chocolate. Well, I've done that in the past, but this time I'm going a little bit more radical, fasting from the news. As of January 19th, I decided I'm fasting from the news. So this is after I launched that episode. I published that episode on the events of January 1st. As you know, we had two significant events that involve military men, one active and one not active. But that was getting pulled into world event. Of course, Donald Trump was inaugurated on a week ago, of now a week and a half. He's in office. So I deliberately set out, for those of you who know, I am obsessed with politics. I'm fasting for Lent because my brain deserves a break. My brain has said, we are going to take time out. And this month is my birthday month. So I am not resuming any political downloads until after my birthday, until probably after Easter. So by the time you see this podcast, it will be 3 weeks that I have not watched the news. I talk to people about it. I actually feel that I already know everything I need to know. Nothing is new in the world, is just recycling. Push start. It's recycling. It's just same information recycled over again, different faces, different names, but it's the same information. What is interesting is that, for someone, I grew up very, very timid. I was very active, but yet very timid because my household where we had all roles. Actually, I was the baby in the family. I had two siblings. Of course, you've heard that I mentioned that my both beloved brother and sister, they passed on. May they rest in peace. And my father as well. So it's pretty much just my mom and I in the family. I don't really talk about anybody else. Nobody else matters to me as far as family members. So it's just my mom. So that said, I was not interested in anything. Had I known, had I been the person that I am today, I would be interviewing my father. I'd be interviewing him. I'd be interviewing all his colleagues, all his friends. Some of them are still alive. Maybe I will reach out to them and see if they want to come on the podcast. But for the most part, I was very shy. I was more, as you know, I'm recovering and in recovery. So, which means that I had other interests. I was a little bit, wild child. But now I am a bit more informed, not only because of the education, but the interest in the world. I'm very empathic. And what that does to me is when I see somewhere in the world that there is suffering, I gravitate toward that place, not physically I can, but in information, I did do deep dives. And also because of my background as a conflict management professional, I actually feel that I am well positioned to speak on many matters. That's including the war in Ukraine, that's the Gaza. When I went to graduate school to study conflict analysis and resolution and international peacekeeping, we were doing deep dives into the Gaza conflict. So definitely that's of interest to me. But I feel for me that, and people say I should go work for the State Department, maybe the CIA, maybe not. Maybe, one of these intelligence communities. And I was recruited by Navy intelligence at some point, but I timed out. Apparently, they said I was too old, but they were recruiting me. I was actively being processed. And after I finished my degree, because that is something that is very beneficial to these type of agencies. But I'm glad that it didn't work out. I'll tell you why. Because now I'm very spiritual. There are some things that I cannot tolerate because I am actually sensitive. I am a very sensitive natured person. In order to be in those roles, I feel that you have to be completely desensitized. I saw my father being someone who had very confidential information come across his desk. He was the military attaché for Haiti for close to 20 years, from Haiti to Washington, D.C. So he must have had very confidential information and very sensitive information. And so that said, I saw him desensitize himself, whether it was through, I don't know, we know ourselves with so many things. Some people would dispute the fact that my father had a drinking problem. I said he did because I didn't fall far from that tree. My mother didn't have it, but my dad did. So some people say, well, your father just drank like everybody else. Well, many people say that I drank like everybody else. So that doesn't mean just because people don't see you drinking that you're not drinking. I was at home with my dad and I saw him with a glass in his hand more than anybody else. And I thought, to be honest with you, I thought that drinking meant you had power. So I really paid close attention to my father. So that said, at an early age, I admired that man. And for some reason, I think I made a decision even back then that I wanted to be so much like him. Well, I can say that I'm very much like my father because I do feel he was a very spiritual man. So my parents met in church. So my father was a deeply spiritual man. He left the church, the Catholic Church, when he was 14. He came into the Methodist Church. But I digress. So this podcast is not so much about my family as much as love talking about my family, especially my father, my sister, my brother, who are no longer with me physically, but I do believe they are with me in spirit. So we went into the podcast, we've had, close to over 31 episodes. And now I'm extremely proud. I'm proud of me. I'm proud of you, the audience. I want to say thank you for supporting me all these many months. Those of you, and I said, I'm not doing this for millions of people. If I happen to have a million plus audience, that's fantastic. But I hope that I touch one life. That's enough for me. That's enough to know that this effort that I'm putting in and this transparency and vulnerability that I have at the moment is really for the one. And I'm not here to please a crowd. I have never been a crowd pleaser. I am somewhat of a little people pleaser. I do want people to like me. But you know what? It doesn't matter to me anymore for someone to validate me. If somebody appreciates and says something that is kind, I love that. But guess what? My validation, my appreciation, my value comes from within. So we've had a myriad of people over the months. So we mentioned Commander Darlene Green, who's fantastic. I've had 3 episodes with her. We had Jason Pike, we've had 3 episodes with him as well. Fantastic. I love my men and women in uniform, which this country needs now more than ever. The last time I actually did a solo episode, it was in 2025. So that's really not something I really want to talk about. I did that episode on Haiti and the independence, which is January 1st, 1804. So that episode will be linked in at the bottom of this video. If you want to go watch that, I highly encourage it. You hear me get really passionate about Haiti and how I love that country, the country I was born in, as much as I love the United States. I think these two were just pillars of freedom because they weren't far apart. The United States led as an example and Haiti followed. So again, the phenomenal conversation I had with so many of these fantastic leaders. So I took you all over Europe. I took you to Germany, actually with 2 Germans. We had Adrian Rocco and we also had Thomas Roll, who touched on, is Germany still an economic power? We have elections in Germany coming up, and it'll be interesting. Again, I'm fasting from the news, so I don't really know what's going on, but I can tell you last year it was quite tumultuous for that country, a global power. It's now been diminished and devalued because of their involvement in Ukraine. And I have no doubt that Europe has suffered because of that. And I'm not here to say one way or the other. I know, so many people in Ukraine have been victims of that conflict between Russia and Ukraine. My heart and prayers go out to them, and I can't imagine having to live in a war zone. But at the same time, I have to say that there are options as a mediator. As a international mediator, I can tell you there is not a conflict on this planet that cannot be resolved. We just have to have willing participants. So I brought you Adrian, and Adrian was able to talk about the front lines because he does humanitarian work. He was able to evacuate some of the children from the start of the conflict. That was phenomenal. I suggest that you go back and look at that episode. And so these two were able to give you some insights into how these 2 factors, just 2 conversations, are completely correlated. The economy in Germany and the conflict, Ukraine and Russia, completely correlated. I do feel that the leaders in Europe, including Great Britain, have completely jeopardized their economic powers. They are collapsing as a result of all their involvement in Ukraine. And some people may disagree to say, well, Russia is trying to take over. Well, I don't agree with that. I have firm understanding that, yes, Russia has an advantage. I do believe it's a nuclear power, first of all. But secondly, Ukraine is definitely at a disadvantage. And I do feel that it's been used by the United States. It's a proxy war. There is no doubt in my mind that the United States is involved and they want NATO on the ground. And I think NATO's already there. There is, and I say all these accusations or all these statements that I make, I say to people, please prove me wrong. Every time I make something, I think deeply about it and I don't take take it lightly. So when I say that, I'm pretty sure that, the members of NATO have already been, engaged somehow. They are, because the Ukrainians cannot fight Russia by themselves. My goodness. Think about it. This is a country that was like nowhere on the map. No one knew about Ukraine before February 22nd, February 24, 2022. Yeah, I remember that because my birthday is February 21st, and it broke out right a few days after my birthday. So no, there's no way on earth that Ukraine could have lasted a day, let alone 2 years, without foreign interference in that. And people get upset when they hear that China's assisting North Korea is assisting, Iran is assisting. Well, everybody in the world is helping Ukraine. When you have two sides, everybody's going to pick a side. And so let these people pick their sides. They penalized Pakistan because they were having relationships with Russia. They're trying to strong arm India into staying out of it, into getting involved, actually not stay out of it, but India's like, we're a sovereign power. We're not going to listen to you and let you tell us what to do. We are doing what's right for our people. We are sovereign. We make decisions that affect Indians. And that's the way all countries should be. That's the way it should be. America should learn from India. You should make decisions that impact your people. Stop meddling in other people's business. And so we talk about also, there's so much going on in the world. And while they're busy chasing, and I say chasing, well, I'm not really sure what they're chasing. Actually, I do know. I mean, it's all about resources, isn't it? It's gold, it's oil, it's uranium. It's just power and greed. And, that ties into the narcissism. I can't stop talking about that. I don't want to have a podcast that is solely focused on narcissism, but I could easily do it because anytime you see two sides, there's usually on the world stage, there's a narcissist involved somehow. There's narcissism somehow. And so we talked about empathic leadership. We've talked about how toxic leadership is detrimental to the psyche of humanity. We talked about what we can do to resolve those traumas. I brought on, Barry Lappin, and he talked about Vipassana meditation. And I am a practitioner of Vipassana meditation. I don't think I'd be on this planet if it wasn't for Vipassana. I am very grateful that I was able to find that tool. As a matter of fact, there was a movie released recently where I was featured when I was in England last year. And I happened to, be on the set when they were interviewing, Vipassana meditators. And as a long-term meditator, so I'm someone who's done several, 30 days, 45 days. I'm passionate about it because I've seen the benefit of it in my life. So I highly recommend. I'll link the title of the film at the bottom of this video because it's not coming to my mind at the moment. But as we talk about all the chaos that's linked to narcissism, that's linked to bad leadership, corporate leadership. We talked about how narcissism destroys families and destroys corporate environments. I have been in those settings and I've seen those toxic people who try to flex their muscle and their authority, that abuse of power. They are empty shells. These people, I don't know how they got on planet Earth. Truly, this is a game. And these people, they come and they step over people. They have no interest in harmony. They have no interest in cooperation. They have no interest, most of all, in growing. Because what narcissism is, it's trauma. So the difference between me and a narcissist, and I've said this on the podcast, how do I know I'm not a narcissist? Is because I have an eagerness and a willingness to heal. The narcissist does not budge when it comes to inner work. Or she is determined to get the world around them to break or to bend to make them comfortable. I am sorry if you're a narcissist listening to this, I will not bend to you. I will not bend to you because I bend to no one. Before we dive back in, it is a pleasure to tell you that my book, Sendra Inner Luxury, Unlock the Secret to Your Luxurious Self, now on Kindle and as well as on paperback. So feel free to rush and get a copy for your loved ones. In addition, if you are loving these extraordinary conversations about luxury, about balance, about emotional intelligence, about a little bit of politics, a little bit of spirituality. If you're loving all of it, well, rush to Amazon and get my book. You will learn emotional balance is from within. You will learn to elevate yourself to the frequency that you wish to express in the world. So there can be more love, more peace, more harmony. Well, there's more. You can rush to pre-order my next book, which is Sendra, Guide to Luxury Living and Emotional Balance. Well, for me, my brand is all about living from within, emotional balance, emotional intelligence, and luxury. And for me, these books are flowing endlessly from me to you with so much love. Let me know what you think. Let me know after you read it. Put a comment, put a review. I'd love to hear from you. Only to the divine powers that created me. You have no power over me. You are a weak individual. I encourage and I invite everyone to really understand what narcissism is, because this world was meant for more peace, more harmony, more prosperity, more joy, more abundance. There seems to be this virus that is infecting the mind of humanity. That virus just sucks everything good out of a person. And what it does is it leaves one lifeless, voiceless, useless, eventually dead. Narcissism kills, it really does. I've seen it in my own family. I've seen people who were married to narcissists eventually pass on because the narcissists that they were married to were so stressful to live with and so toxic to live with. Eventually, you just end up dying from whatever condition. It's not the condition, it's the thing that caused the condition. Yeah, I have a few names, and they're all around. And the thing is, the narcissist is still standing, and these people, it's kind of repelling. I say it's nauseating actually to be around those people because you can't figure them out. Their mind is so corrupt. Their mind is so corrupted. And on the topic of Haiti, I do believe that narcissism is what broke it. So the Haitian culture is intertwined with narcissism, and I talked about that. And when you think about colonialism, that's also built on narcissism. What is narcissism? It's just one person trying to prove that they are better than the other person, and at any cost, they will take you down to make sure that they feel superior to you. So I encourage through my podcast people to listen to it so people can become more informed in the workplace, in the family, and to make sure that you are not victim to this narcissism, because these people are smooth. They are smooth. Let me tell you, they will smooth. They'll come to you, they'll love you, they hug you, and until they don't need you anymore. And then they get rid of you. That's how it works. You're useful until you're not. And there's so many people making headlines who are, and some of the people you can talk about, take the top 1% of the 1% of the 1%. The richest man in the world, I think he's a narcissist. He is definitely a narcissist. Everybody in politics, all narcissists. I say this, my daddy was a part narcissist, but I love him so much. All I can say is there is a way to be altruistic without being sociopathic. There is a way of being altruistic, where you want to help the world, but you don't have to feel like you have to fix the world. There's that thing where people, they call them, some of these people that are like doing a lot of charity. You'll take, some of these large foundations who are doing charity, but they're under the guise that they're helping humanity. United States is that under like that. They're saying they're spreading democracy around the world. And I say, is it really? Are you really spreading democracy around the world? Is that what we're doing? So it's virtual signaling. Look at me. I'm doing all this good work. I'm doing all this volunteer work. I'm doing all this, benevolent work around the world. It's in the church as well. It's in the church. It's just a disease. It's actually a virus, like I said. So we went through that. I'm staying on the topic of narcissism, but the narcissist is somebody that needs to be exposed. And once in a while, I'll drop a video about narcissism. So we've talked about all that. We also talked about fraud, how to avoid fraud in your business, how to protect yourself, as a common citizen, how to avoid fraud. And that was with Jose Moreno. And he developed a software platform to help corporates, but also he gave a few tips on how an individual can actually protect themselves from any type of fraud. And now we're seeing how innovative the technology world is becoming, because we've gone from just being able to put a pass. Now you have multi-factor authentication. How fabulous is that? I think if I was, if I was born a bit later, I think I would have been a tech person, but I'm fascinated by technology. And so that's really one of the wonderful episodes, because it really provides you with information and takes you to the leading edge and helps you to understand, how we are evolving as a society. But what does that say about us? Does that say that we're needing more authentication because there's more criminal activity among us? The human mind is becoming so dark that we're having to take extreme measures now to protect ourselves. Is that what that means? Does that mean that we are beyond repair now, that we're just going to have so many layers of verification in order to protect our resources, our wealth, our privacy? So that's something that we need to think about. Why is it that we need more protection? Is it because there are more criminals on the planet? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. If somebody knows, put that in the comment. Do you think there are more criminals? I mean, there are more people on the planet on a daily basis. But is that because, there's not enough distribution of equal distribution of wealth? And I'm not a socialist minding person. I am a full-fledged capitalist. I'm about work for it and get it, right? So I'm not one to say that, just take it from someone. I'm not Robin Hood, take it from someone and give it to the other. There are cases, and I've benefited from that when I needed funds, and I went to certain sources and I was able to get funds, and I was and I benefited from that. As an entrepreneur, so sometimes you come in hard times, and sometimes you just have to do what you got to do. So that said, sometimes you're young and you just misspend your money, and that's it. Daddy's not there anymore. But I'm grateful for that. But I've always been someone who is encouraging, who's always encouraged people to work for it, and you'll reap the benefits. And work smart, not hard. I know there's that thing that says work smart. I mean, work hard and you'll get the benefit. Work smart. Working smart means to really look at your talents and resources to see how you can maximize those. Don't go squandering your energy, because at the end of the day, you're just going to feel depleted, and you're just going to be at a loss. You're going to be bedridden with chronic fatigue, with all sorts of conditions, autoimmune related conditions. So on that, that's where Vipassana comes in. Vipassana can tell you how to calm yourself, calm the nervous system, and become more present in your daily life. So we also talked to Ali John, who we had a great conversation about the leadership styles in Africa. I'm passionate about leadership because I've seen some toxic leaders in my day. Some toxic leader. I think there are more toxic leaders than empathic, and altruistic leaders. That needs to change, right? So that's part of the podcast. My description of the podcast talks about my interest in leadership and bringing leaders on who are actually walking the walk and not just talking the talk, the type of people that you can learn from and grow with. I want to learn and I want to grow. So I am not the perfect. I do know that I am a leader at heart. I'm becoming a better leader every day when I have a willingness to grow. So Ali Majan came and spoke about the different styles, and right when I spoke to him, they were about to they were about to cast their votes for South Africa. And we were, discussing that. By the time the episode was published, we knew that Cyril Ramaphosa, I believe that's his name, the current president of South Africa, became reelected. But are these really leaders? So let's talk a little bit about that. So Africa is in such turmoil. I mean, you gotta admit it is the richest continent on the planet. So you gotta wonder, why is it that Africans experience such hardship, such hard, difficult daily living? They don't have water, barely basic necessities, education is lacking when they have all these resources. So I boil it down to one thing: it's just corrupt leadership. And I pray, and this is the same for Haiti. Well, the United States has corrupt leadership too. I mean, nobody escapes corruption, right? But there are different levels of corruption. When you think about there is a continent that is richest, but the citizens, the people who live on that continent happen to be the poorest. It's there's room for thought here. Why would that be? Well, it's because there are a lot of large foreign corporations that come in and they rob these people. They rob these people with the help of their leaders. Their leaders, these corrupt leaders, these people are billionaires, you know, not self-made, but definitely grifters. Yeah, in addition to the narcissism, that comes the epidemic of grifting, the grifting in leadership. So we see that in Ukraine. We see the grifting in Ukraine. We see the grifting all over Africa. We see the grifting in the United States, grifting in Haiti. So you see the trend? It's all grifting. So who's the bigger grifter? I should do an episode and rank them. Who's the bigger grit? I think the worst kind is the one that pretends to be helping people and they're really stealing from them. You know, it's like that parents that said, "This hurts me more than it hurts you, but I have to do this because I love you so much." Well, that's grifting. Grifting are people who actually have nothing to give. They're not giving anything, but they're making you think that they're there to help you and to make sure that your needs are met. Your needs are not being met. The only person winning in that formula in that relationship is the person who's speaking with a smile. I will help you. I will help you because I love you and your people so much. And you know what? This is not even a racial thing because there are some Black people on this planet. They will tell you, I am all in for Black people. And I could tell you what racism looks like. And they smile. They're like, oh, yeah, that means a racist. And guess what? They are the biggest perpetrator violence, emotional violence, physical violence on their own people. So let's just be clear. Let's disrupt that myth, right? That it's racism. No, Black people are just as violent against Black people as any other race. So that doesn't give a pass to these other races. What it does is make you become more aware of your environment. When you think you're safe among your own, sometimes you're more at risk. You know, I had to learn that myself because, like I said, I cut these people off. I had to say, you got to go. I don't want you around me. You're not good for my soul. You're not good for my spirit. You're not good for my peace of mind. So sometimes it's radical, and sometimes you just have to cut them off. You just have to, because there are some people who just come to take and they don't give anything, and that's leadership right there. So when a leader is sitting there gloating on his throne, and then he knows his people are suffering, that's just wrong on every level. So as you can see, I've gone through a myriad of topics. You know, we talked about leadership in the Marines. We've had guests, you know, from everything. So, but I want to hear from you. What did you enjoy the most? What were the most interesting topics to you? And what didn't you hear me talk about? Because you know, this is for you. I'm inspired by you. I'm inspired for you. This message is a message that I channel for you. And I'm unscripted, I'm raw, and most of all, I'm authentic. And I know I'm a quiet taste because it's frankly speaking with Sendra D, you know? So if this is not frankly, if you're not interested in frankly speaking with me, this podcast is not for you. So I don't even know. I haven't really have engagement with my audience. I love you so much. So, you know, there was the one book that came along, Sendor Inner Luxury. That's more on the side of Sendor Sacred Podcast. But for this book, that's for this podcast, you are going to have things that are more aligned, touching on legal, a little bit of politics. So there are more books coming. There are more different guests coming. I'm going to do panels. Would you like that? Tell me. Would you like to have live panels? You know, I'm now on TikTok. So if you haven't found me on TikTok, go and follow me. I'm posting little tidbits, insights, inspirations, and I'm also more active on Instagram now. I think I'm now what? I have 1,000 followers on TikTok and I have 1,000. Let's grow it to 1,000,000. Let's do this journey together. So I am inspired to write more books. I'm inspired to have authors, like-minded people, politics. I want people to come on the show and tell me what's going on in the world because, again, I am fasting for Lent. Yes, I am fasting for Lent. Donald Trump, as much as I love you and I wanted you to get there, you better deliver. You better deliver because there's a little country called Haiti that needs your attention. You people need to get out of that country because you know what? I don't even know what's happening in Haiti. I haven't found out I don't know what you're doing, Donald Trump, but I'm speaking to you now. I am saying to you, Be the leader that I know you are naturally born to be. Bring stability around the world. Bring peace around the world. There is strength in peace. Violence reeks of weakness. So if the United States is bringing violence around the world against innocent people with who they have no war, we're not at war with the United States. America is a partner of Haiti. So when I think about the presence that these people have in Haiti and we still cannot have peace, I got a question. Why are you there? Why are you in the United States? What? Sorry, cut that. I got to ask, why is the United States have such a strong influence in Haiti when in the last 30 years, it's deteriorated? So podcast is going to be asking a lot of questions. And I hope audience that you'll be able to help me answer those questions. So yeah, where are you from? Would you like more peace in the country where you are? List your country below and let me know what topics are concerning to you in your country right now that you would like to be discussed. I touched on Syria just, in the new year, but in 2024, conflict resolution is a tool that can be applicable. And I talked about that with Robin Corral-Shaw. She's an attorney and a mediator. I'm not an attorney, but like her, I'm a mediator and I'm passionate about peacekeeping. I want to know, audience, what topics are burning in your country right now? What are the hot topics in your country right now? What would you like me to talk about? And so the message, I go back to Donald Trump. Yeah, this is my invitation to you to help me restore peace in Haiti. Let's restore peace in Haiti. You've done enough. Your country, my country, I love the United States of America. We need to bring peace to that country. I know you mentioned something about their eating cats and dogs. Mr. President, that's not a conversation we need to have. Because first of all, I don't trust the source. Yeah, your vice president, I don't trust the source. Talking about they're eating cats and dogs. Is that really the most pressing thing that you could talk about when it comes to Haitian? How about the child trafficking? How about the rate of poverty in Haiti? How about the hunger in Haiti? How about the lack of security in Haiti? How about the gun trafficking in Haiti? Yeah? You don't think that's enough? How about the organ trafficking in Haiti? Mr. Vice President, would you like to talk about that in Haiti? But you're talking about cats and dogs? Cats and dogs? Mr. Vance? See, I don't even know what you're doing. I know. I don't trust you. I'll never vote for you. I said it out loud. Yeah, I don't trust you. So Donald Trump, Mr. Trump, President Trump, welcome back. Welcome back. Help me fix Haiti. Let's fix Haiti. Let's restore the justice system in Haiti. Let's restore security in Haiti. Let's restore economic power in Haiti. Let's restore sovereignty in Haiti. You want to make America great? Well, I want to help you do that. But can you help me make Haiti great again? Let's do this together because you know what? Having Haiti as an ally is benefiting the United States. We were a founding member of the UN. We'll help you with all your causes. You want to get a vote when you are at the UN trying to build a cause or trying to fight for a cause? You want us as a partner? Well, you need to help us restore peace, sovereignty, and economic power in Haiti. Our dollar, our currency has been so devalued, people can barely survive. You say you love children. Well, children are being trafficked in Haiti. We're going to talk about all of those. This is a call to action to Donald J. Trump. And I love you very much. I respect you very much. I'm not sure I respect those people around you. I don't know. That's yet to be seen. I want them to prove me wrong. But I do trust you, Mr. President. I do trust you. I trust you that you loved your country as I love the country I was born in. And I've come to love the United States of America. So I want to help you fix and help as much as I can with America. And I'm calling on you. Can you help me fix Haiti? Can you help me restore the peace of mind that these people deserve since they helped contribute freedom around the world? Do you know anything about Haiti, Mr. Trump? Would you like me to help you understand who we really are, Haitians, native of, a peace-loving country? Can you help us rebuild our military, which my father was part of? You want to look up who my father was? A man who never took a penny that wasn't paid to him by the country he served. Do you want to help me really live that legacy that my father, the general, inspired me to continue? So I've got a call to action to my audience. Yeah, let me know what you want to hear about. A call to action To all the Trump supporters who want to fix America, I'm all in with you. I'm all in. I'm all in through everybody who wants to make their country great again. But most of all, I'm calling on the highest powers. I'm calling on Donald J. Trump. Yes, Mr. President, welcome back. I'm grateful that you fought this fight to get where you are. You're an inspiration to me. Now, as you fix your country, can you help me fix Haiti? God bless us in the United States. God bless us on this planet. Most of all, God bless you, my audience. And God bless Haiti. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. It is my privilege and honor to always come in through the airwaves and bring you this authentic and powerful voice from Sendra D. Mwah. Until next time. Oh, and don't forget, go get my book, Amazon. And it is Sendor Inner Luxury. And listen to my other podcast, which is Sendor Sacred Spaces. I can be followed. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe. But find me on TikTok, find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter, Parler, Truth Social, find me on LinkedIn, and let me know what you want to hear about. Let me know what you want to hear about. Okay, because my voice is loud and clear. If you don't hear me loud and clear, well, you got to clean out his ears because I am speaking up. 2025 is truly the year for speaking up. No more being shy. No more backing down. Go all in. I am all in with you. Want to join me in this fight? God bless you. So thanks for watching. Of course, I just want to remind you, first of all, I want to say thanks for watching. But I want to say from my heart, Sendra D, I want to remind you to grab your copy on Amazon and let me know what your thoughts are, what feedback you have, what you would have liked me to speak about. Of course, we're on this journey together. So Amazon, Kindle, paperback, Sendor Inner Luxury. And for those of you who are ready to dive even deeper, you can get ready because there's more coming. Sendor Guide to Luxury Living and Emotional Balance. That's going to be available very soon. So stay tuned. Keep watching. I will announce. You follow me on my social medias as I tease a little bit of this and a little bit of that for your highest good. Remember, luxury isn't just a lifestyle. It is absolutely a mindset. And I don't know about you, I want my mindset to reflect all of the highest frequencies available to us humans. Till next time, don't forget, grab your copy on Amazon, Sendor Inner Luxury, unlocking the secret to your luxurious self. Until next time. Oh, and don't forget, subscribe to Frankly Speaking with Sendra D's podcast and join us every week as we uncover the stories of those who triumphed over life-altering challenges to achieve not just financial success, but a richer, a deeper, a more altruistic life. It's about time we redefine what it means to be a truly affluent individual. Don't you agree? So come and join me. And let's be unstoppable on this journey called life. The path to waking up to your authentic being.